remnant moisture from Lorena is going to be impacting Texas. We have Hurricane Kiko, a Category 3 storm that is heading toward Hawaii. I am United Cajun Navy's Chief Meteorologist Amy Metz, September 5th, 2025. Taking a look first now at 91L, and then we'll circle back to the other storms. What we've been seeing with this invest is a westward track of the computer models, just one of them heading toward the north here. Now, I do think before this storm makes its way all the way into the United States basin, it could very well be going north like Aaron did. A big reason we can see this stationary front acting like a wall. We should have yet another one of those coming from this cold front right now, which in part is that tropical remnant low moisture from Lorena already mixing in across Mexico. So that is dwindling off the coast of Baja California. But now by Sunday, through Sunday, areas in the orange, we're looking for more than 5 inches of rain. That's going to be expected even right where our United Cajun Navy search and rescue is still ongoing its search for some of the victims of the 4th of July flooding. Now, when it comes to Kiko, we do see right at the center 30-foot waves in the red, but let's remember this is not going to directly landfall in Hawaii, most likely, but will still impact the surf, especially for the eastern and northern shorelines. We do have some degradation coming. So, one of the reasons is the temperatures of the water. The sea surface temperature is going to go down a few degrees as the storm makes its way closer to Hawaii over the weekend. And in doing so, it will weaken the storm along with some wind shear. So by the time the impacts are getting close to Hawaii, it will be storm surge, just a tiny bit, mostly with the swells embedded in there. Some wind gusts are possible, but that's wave height surge kind of stuff. And then when it comes to the United States, North Dakota already starting with the freeze watches and warnings, 29 degrees there. And then heading into tomorrow, we do see that our storm prediction centers guidance does include more storm activity in the northeastern coastline. So today that has been centered with its warnings into eastern Tennessee, but then by Sunday we see things really kind of calm down. And really, though, I want to go back to the space weather here because we have a coronal hole impacting us in a couple of days here anyway. And so that can bring us some more low level geomagnetic storming like what we saw last week when Hurricane Kiko had only been forecast to be a Category 1. Some geomagnetic storming came along and I had said, hey, this might increase the forecast. And sure enough, it did. So this would be the next sign, that coronal hole, that we could have a little more impact and the increased rainfall department over the next few days. Now, and then when it comes to the sun, though, the sunspots are really, really degrading and kind of going down. So that wraps up our forecast for today. And if you have any more questions, I don't want to, talk your ear off about space weather. But if you guys ever want to know more, please let me know, and I'll be happy to share. I'm actually working with NASA and some of the employees there in order to help bring space weather into our nightly news programs. And so there's a meteorological conference going on in the next year that they asked me to maybe help do a short class in. And therefore, you and I, we could all kind of just work together and figure out what makes the most sense to you guys, what makes you the most excited, or do you want to learn about more? Because it really plays into the weather. I'm actually studying space weather simply because I noticed how solar storms completely changed our forecasts. Like we would have some of these forecasts for rainfall, and like we did during the 4th of July storms, we were calling for about 12 inches of rain, and we got 30% more. And it was actually at the same time as a coronal hole. So there's a lot of studies out there as to exactly how space weather changes our weather here. Back in the day, people couldn't extrapolate the data points from a satellite and differentiate what was what. And so a lot of people said space weather doesn't do anything here. It wasn't proven, but the times have changed. So go ahead, let me know if it's interesting to you that gold rains through our bodies or muons of protons the size of your fingernail go through your body during solar storms or not. And I'll be sharing more. So best wishes, everybody, getting through these tropical storm events. Nothing huge on the forecast right now. We'll be back with more next week.